Jonathan, what's our first one?
Hey, John and the crew. My name is Pierre, and I was just wondering, do you think Rogue will show up in the Marvels? Thank you. Bring on the filthy.
Thanks, Pierre. We appreciate you calling in. Okay, do we think Rogue will show up in the Marvels? Well, I mean, putting Rogue with the Marvels is a great situation for comic book fans, right? If you are familiar with Rogue's whole journey through the X-Men comic book series, there is, back in 1977, I believe, when she was part of the Brotherhood, she meets up with Carol Danvers. They're having a fight, and Rogue absorbs some of her powers.
In Avengers Annual 10.
Oh, there we go.
Written by Chris Claremont, drawn by Michael Golden, one of my favorite comics of all time.
Oh, yeah. And in this moment, instead of just temporarily keeping a power, she absorbs some of them permanently, as well as a bunch of Carol's memories. And then that personality appears sometimes too, as we have a lot of times in X-Men, those like dormant personalities manifesting and taking center stage.
I would love that, actually.
Yeah?
If Rogue showed up.
How would you want that executed, Rob?
Well,
good
make
answer.
it good. I mean, no, I mean, look, if they do introduce Rogue in Marvels, and they do, because I would imagine playing out that situation would be a great way to sort of, you know, if you're going to bring mutants in gradually. Miss Marvel, we've already had an indication of her mutantness, but bringing in Rogue and that situation and having her show up and taking the powers is a really interesting way to create sympathy for the character of Carol Danvers. It's a great comic tie-in. And the fact that Rogue wasn't necessarily an X-Men right away in the comics, I really like that idea. And I don't know who they would cast as Rogue, but Rogue's one of my favorite X-Men. Although, can we call that? You know they're going to change some name. X-People?
I mean, maybe. Or it could be X-Men.
I mean, Human X-Men. I hope so. But I love Rogue, so I would love to see that. I don't know if they're going to do it. We haven't heard anything in that. I mean, the movie's already shot.
Yeah.
So who knows?
It'd be really, really cool. And, you know, Marvel is pretty good with their NDAs, so they could keep things under wraps. I love the casting talk, too, of Keke Palmer wanting to be Rogue and her fans really, really wanting that. I think that'd be super, super fun. I aspire to have hair as big as Rogue. I love her so much.
I mean, having somebody be, you know, Creole or something like that, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Gambit. I have no problem with that. But Keke Palmer, she'd crush it as Rogue.
She'd be so great.
Yeah.
She would do a wonderful job. Amy, what do you think about bringing Rogue in this way?
I think it would be a great idea. I don't feel super confident that they would do it. I'm going to be really, really curious because we've had this X-Men or this mutant tease. And I feel like the question really is now, like, what is the rate at which we are actually going to get our X-persons? I think we can say X-Men. If you're worried about the PC-ness, I'm pretty sure people are going to be fine.
Yeah.
But sort of, what is the actual rate at which we are going to get X-Men introduced? The Marvels feels like a really organic way to do it, since clearly we are using, you know, Kamala Khan as sort of this intro in the universe, and I think that would be a really fun way, especially if there is, you know, an easy comic tie-in that just makes perfect sense. And I think Rogue would be a really fun X-Men to start out with. I think she's someone people would be really excited to see, especially with some of this casting buzz that I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll do it, which is a bummer.
I agree. I'm hoping, too, that if we start out with Rogue, we do start with more of Rogue being a rogue. I do like the Brotherhood angle. I think that's really, really fun. Anna Paquin did a lovely job in the X-Men movies that kind of launched the MCU truly. I mean, and you obviously worked on those to a great extent, Rob.
Yeah, I did the special features for the first two for DVD that have later been ported over to Blu-ray and 4K.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And of course, with Days of Future Past, there's two different cuts of that movie. There's the Rogue cut, where they added her back in because they sort of excised her part from the theatrical version. And then they did the version that came out, which I liked. I really liked the Rogue cut.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Rogue. I mean, the X-Men's my favorite Marvel super team. I mean, to me, the X-Men are the Star Trek in my mind. The way I love Star Trek, the X-Men are my Star Trek in terms of comic teams. That and the original New Teen Titans, the Wolfman Perez, and when they teamed up, that was dope.
That was very dope. Well, folks, the question is up for you. Do you think this is a great way to introduce Rogue by bringing her into the Marvels? Do you think they'll do it? Do you think this is a missed opportunity? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. You guys know we have been sponsored by MasterClass, and we love them here at the John Campea Show for giving us in-depth information on a wide variety of topics from the world's best experts. With MasterClass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn the art of filmmaking from James Cameron, improve your cooking skills from Gordon Ramsay, or learn how to make compelling YouTube videos from Marquise Brownlee. With over 150 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. I was recently watching through the independent filmmaking course by Spike Lee, and I found it fascinating that not only did he cover the broader topics like working with actors, but he also gets into finer details like working with a cinematographer and how to properly audition a DP for your project. It was fascinating. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.